Hello, welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands after the New Year. Yes, we're all nasally and I'll get back to that in a minute. If you can hear a hiss in the background, we'll tell you about that later as well. Look, all these teasers to get to get people listening right to the end so you can find out what that's all about.
Can I be pedantic and say it's more of a hum?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a hum than a hiss.
Well, they might be listening out for a hiss now.
It's a hum, okay.
It's not a snake.
Hannah, you have just eaten a whole bag of chocolate.
Oh, don't, no, we can't start the podcast on that. Yeah, no, I have. It's not. I've been very naughty. It's not even 10 o'clock and I've eaten a whole big bag of peanut M&Ms.
So is there any New Year's resolutions on your...
No, clearly not. What about you?
I'm going to swear less. Yeah.
That'd be good.
Which you wouldn't believe, because I don't think you've sworn once on a podcast.
No, I've never sworn on a podcast. I'm going to swear less. I have a tendency to stomp around and go... So I'm going to try and do that. What's yours?
I tend to not make New Year's resolutions just because I've never stuck to one in my life beyond January. The only thing I've decided to do is, rather than doing dry January, is do January. So I'm going to have a gin a week.
There are quite a few people, aren't they, that do like a dry January or this thing, vegan January. I mean, what's all that about?
Yeah, isn't your daughter doing it? I saw
she lasted a day.
Yeah,
she lasted a day. Rice and veg and a certain brand of biscuits.
Well,
and she went... No.
I was reading an article, I think I sent it round towards the tail end of last year on The Guardian, that was saying being vegan isn't the right thing to save the planet. It's just about changing the way you eat red meat. So it's not actually, being vegan doesn't actually save the planet. So it was an article written by an ex-vegan who was sort of bashing that. But down here it would be so difficult to be a vegan.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine trying it. A previous FITV employee tried to be vegan down here, didn't he?
He did. He was definitely vegetarian down here. He was really a vegan, but he was sort of, it is difficult. Unless you've got a garden. Which reminds me, you've got a polytunnel at the FITV house, haven't you?
Yes.
Half a polytunnel,
yeah, I was
we must admit. It's probably flapping away.
Okay, so it needs some maintenance. Are you growing anything this year?
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of lettuce in there. The potatoes are coming along quite nicely. The courgettes have flowered, so they're going to get there. It's close. There's an abundance of rhubarb because that just grows all year round. And had our first strawberry the other day, which was amazing. Which reminds me, I have to go and water the tunnel today.
We'll have to do rhubarb crumble. That'd be quite good.
Yeah.
So with everything being in flower and blooming, and isn't life gorgeous and everything? But the huge downfall on this is that we're all suffering from blimmin' hay fever, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you're probably suffering the most out of it.
Oh God! And I've never had hay fever before.
Have you been taking your antihistamines?
I took it this morning, yeah. So
I was told that antihistamines are just like the pill for a woman, that if you just take it once in a while, it's not going to work. You have to take it religiously every day at a similar time for to actually build up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that might be completely wrong. So if anyone's listening thinking, Tom's talking a load of poppycock.
Engage with us. Engage with us. But we were trying to decide whether it was the white grass or the gorse.
Yeah.
And again, whitegrass and gorse. I've never heard of either of those things before I moved here.
Yeah.
Is it common around? I'm not a particularly planty man.
People go on about the smell. We had this, didn't we, at Battle Day, you and I, because we were walking back past that massive gorse bush. And I won't tell you what I thought it smelled like, but people are really quite like the smell of it.
Well, do you think it's like Marmite? Some people think it smells lovely, some people think it smells horrible.
Possibly. And just on a tangent, while I sit here, and I said we wouldn't go on tangents, but have you been twiddling your moustache? Because it looks you're looking a little bit piratey today.
No,
it looks like
I
there's been some twiddling of the ends. And
there we go.
Mr. Monopoly Man.
There you go. Photo of that on Facebook, I think. So yes, so listeners,
we went from gorse bushes to twiddled moustaches.
Listeners, that's why we are all a little bit nasally and a little bit kind of like...
Desperately trying not to rub our eyes at this point.
Yes, indeed. So, New Year's resolutions. We did our first episode of the new year. Hannah, you were on the sofa with the lovely Dan McGill, who's back with us.
That was the first time I've presented the news with him, actually.
He's got a gorgeous voice.
Yeah, he does. He's got a very smooth voice.
Yeah.
And a very quite relaxing voice.
I think I've got an idea for a New Year's resolution for Hannah. Look less grumpy when she presents the news. Go watch episode 410.
It's the first week back on the job, isn't it?
It's so difficult, though, isn't it?
It is.
I had a book which has gone missing, unfortunately, about presenting, and in it was saying about inner game show, bring out your inner game show. Even if you're reading something that's quite serious, you need to sort of have that kind of smiliness. But you, like me, if we don't smile, we look like we're going to murder somebody in the next 5 minutes. So.
But also, if it's something serious that's being talked about, like i.e. whaling, for example, not going to be sat there with the happiest of faces. It's a look of concern.
But there's a difference between a look of concern and a look of uninterest. And in all fairness, I'm not bashing. It takes ages, and I don't do it perfectly either. Of course not. But it is about just sitting down and watching it, and I think we all need to do that. Maybe that's a resolution for all of us this year. Watch our faces more.
Yeah. Well, I have got a picture of Gerard Butler on the auto cue that says "Smile or you'll look miserable."
Yeah,
so I also think it depends on who you're presenting with. Like, there have been times where we present, and I think we present quite well sometimes, and then other times when if you're not in a good mood or whatever, it's hard to put the fakeness. I'm not very good at.
And that's the difficult bit, isn't it? If you're not really zazzed up for it on a Thursday morning, it can be difficult.
Or if you're stressed about other things.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to what Paula was saying about no matter how you're feeling, putting that game show face on.
That's why we've got a box full of chocolate biscuits here before the podcast, because I think the last podcast didn't we record it like really early in the morning?
I think it was far too early.
Yeah. That was a problem. Anyway, it's been the Christmas period. How's your Christmases been down in the Falklands?
Oh, good, really, really good. Like for me, it was my first Christmas away from home, and actually it was nice because Tom and I we stuck together and we bobbled around different people's houses and had lots of Christmas dinners and stuff.
Six dinner Sid, yeah.
Lots of Christmas dinners. And we were quite lucky. We spent Christmas lunch with Alex and Helen's mum and dad, which was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
They've got a lovely old house with all like woodeny bits, and it was very like family
and they're on peat, aren't they?
It was just
love the smell of burning peat.
The food was amazing as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So listeners, there's just a few houses left in the Falkland, in Stanley, who rely on peat for their heating
and cooking.
And cooking.
Yeah, they cook with peat as well. So and Colin said he'd take me out peat cutting. He said he's always looking for help every morning. And I said, maybe not every morning, but one morning perhaps. I'd like to give it a go.
Go and do it. There's an art to it, apparently.
Yeah, but he's a very crafty man, and he got us both a really nice gift for Christmas.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah, that was very sweet of them. We need to get
a bottle or something to say thank you for that. He makes pens and stuff out of some of the woods from the shipwrecks, and he got us a pen each.
Fancy pen.
You lucky thing. I got a pen for Christmas as well.
Ooh, yes. Fountain.
It is a fountain pen. It
writes
beautifully. It wasn't free, listener. There you are. You're listening. All pen companies out there. You should send me pens. It's beautiful. It's a Schaefer. Honestly, as you write with it, the air around it just is still with awe as you write with it. It's beautiful.
Like the Avatar, but with a pen.
Yeah.
How was your Christmas? What else did you get up to? Apart from getting lots of pens.
And a cold.
And a cold, yeah.
Just one pen. No, it was good. One daughter back, the other daughter's still in the Cayman Islands, so let's just not feel too sorry for her, eh? But, yeah, it was good. We had a lot of people around. It was good stuff. So, and then we were all back together for the Boxing Day races.
Indeed.
Which is quite a mammoth task.
The Cheltenham of the Falklands.
The Cheltenham of the Falklands.
Yeah, I was surprised that not many people dressed up, actually, because I thought everyone was going to be in big hats and...
You do have
like ladies there, Ascot and things like that.
You do have the Ascot ladies down here. So there's a group of women who do dress up and a couple of men, and they go around and they raise money for charity and things like that.
From the Vic Bar, weren't they?
Indeed, yeah, from the Victory Bar. So they're always wonderful. They're so funny, and seeing the two men dressed as ladies join the all-ladies tug of war team was quite comical.
Oh, now it's all becoming clear as to why they did that.
See, I wouldn't know. I was right down on the other end, stuck on a whim on my own. Had no idea what was going on down.
You were seeing everything at the start line, weren't
you? Yeah, which was good.
So how was it having the horses down there really close to you?
It was really good, but they were been and gone so quickly, do you know what I mean? And by the time that they'd been and gone, and then it was like a big gap in between, you're kind of like twiddling your thumbs or
waiting a bit.
Going to the toilet.
Yes, I know. As I said to you before,
cheeky toilet stop.
Said you went for a wee in the grass. How did you know?
Eyes everywhere. Well, I thought maybe you might watch from me.
No, I didn't watch.
on your camera. Well, so just listener, just to give you an idea of what was happening. So the race course in Stanley is at the sort of west end of town. Hannah was on the start line, which is about sort of 400 or 500 yards away from the finishing line.
Half a mile, yeah.
Is that half a mile?
I think it's about half a mile, yeah.
Thomas was up in the commentary box. Quite a small area, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was all right. There was only 3 of us up there, and one of them was the radio, where they have their own little sort of closed-off booth. So I just stayed in the main commentary area with the chap who was doing the tannoy.
Yeah.
So could you open a window and stick your camera out?
No, it was all through the window. So I came up there and the windows were horrible, and I came back up 10 minutes later, and bless him, Andy had cleaned all of them for me, and really good. And we had a really nice afternoon up there chatting. I learnt so much about racing.
This is such a lot to do. And then Katie was on the finish line,
yes.
On a phone, I think, wasn't she?
Yes, yeah.
And she was on a phone, and actually, good job she was there, because I think something like the second or third race, because she was just in front of the judges, or stewards rather, and the stewards had to have a look at her footage to see who did come over the line.
It was
it's
second
on a phone.
and third, wasn't it? That there was,
So, because she was on the long line and on a phone, it was easy to scroll backwards and forwards to see who that was going on. But that happened a couple of times. I think there was a couple of times it was very, very close.
Yeah,
and then I was on the other side on a phone getting the horses at the beginning.
The camera.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. FITV invest in some new technology and invest in Hawkeye just for the Boxing Day races. But there was a record turnout this year, they were saying.
Apparently so.
At one point there was up to 500-600 people around there, which, considering the population of the Falkland Islands, is staggering.
They bussed in about 4 busloads of MPA people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, and they seemed to all enjoy it. They definitely dressed up. They were in their shirts and their blazers, and
tweed.
A couple of flat caps, a bit Peaky Blindery over there.
I think it'd be good because I didn't realise the race was ran over 2 days. So I think, in hindsight, if I did it again, what I'd like to do is film the first day and then go and watch for the second, and actually, as a spectator, dress up and make a bit of a day of it. Would be quite nice.
So that was the Boxing Day races. Then we had a couple of days off. You came in to edit those. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then we had meltdowns because of power cuts and all of this, and we'll get onto that after.
Tease the listener.
The hum is still in the background, isn't it?
Tease the listener.
But yeah, the Boxing Day races it's all right. It just takes forever to edit. I think I was here for 9-10 hours on the Thursday. Yeah,
because as opposed to other places we go to where we can go, right, everyone starts filming now, and you're too far away to go, do a clapperboard or whatever.
It's sticking them all together, and it's making sure you got the right commentary over the top, and it takes a while. That's all it is. It's not particularly complicated, but it just takes a while. So I hope everyone who watched it did appreciate it.
Yeah, we've got a clip in it. We've got the Governor's Cup I clipped out. So that's in this week's news. Shearing competition.
Yeah.
It's such a fantastic thing. I wasn't very well, so I didn't go. So it was you and Steve that went to film it.
It was interesting. It was really busy. Packed. I was surprised at how popular it actually was. I know shearing is probably quite a pastime here, so I can understand, and maybe a lot of people from camp came to compete and to watch it, but it was a bit of a nightmare because it was so busy, and they've got these big shearing tables and the shearers all up on a stage, and the sheep come round the side of the FIDF hall, and then you've got benches for spectators to sit, and where Steve was right near where the sheep come through the gate.
I've been there,
and little kiddies going to and from, and he had a bit of bad luck because he had a sheep jump up from the gate that then tried to knock the camera over. So I think he was a little bit that was interesting.
Difficult.
It's difficult, but it's interesting to do, and I think maybe next time hopefully we can try and get a platform or some sort of raised area where people can't get in and out the shop and things like that would be quite good. But
it's not just a locally confined event though, is it? Like some of the winners get off, what do
they
do?
Go off to the Golden Shears in France, which is
so is that like
that's
a world
in July international
competition?
Yeah.
And they did really well, I think, last year. So it's every 2 years, isn't it, Golden Shears? And 2 years ago, I think it was in New Zealand, and next year it's going to be... Did you say it was going to be in France?
Yeah, it's in France in July, yeah. I thought it was on the Basque country, but actually I think it's more central, next to Limoges.
Okay.
So yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how they do on a global scale.
Well, they did quite well last time.
Because how many countries... I wonder even how many countries go in for it and things like that.
Don't know. We
Whether
will
it's
need
quite
to
popular,
Google that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And bring
But
that next time.
if you are in France in July and you are near Limoges, go and check out the Golden Shears. Go meet the chaps from the Falkland Islands because they're awesome and really, really nice people as much as anything else.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
They are awesome. So that was shearing. Also, just before Christmas, we had the Santa Dash. Didn't they pick the best day ever? Was it Christmas Eve?
It was Christmas Eve, yeah.
It was so beautiful. You know, tune in, guys, listeners. Week 410. It's £2 just for the episode. It's the same price as the Penguin News. Can I just say? Yeah, they've gone up. So, and it was such a gorgeous day.
Absolutely, it was stunning.
Can't remember who organised it.
I can't remember their name either. Now this is really bad, but I do have them on the event. But they just essentially looked at it and saw that there was an extremely low tide at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Christmas Eve, and when there's a really low tide, the 2 meters of water that separates the Lady Elizabeth and Whalebone Cove essentially disappears, and you can walk all the way up there. Never mind wade, you can literally walk the whole way on sand. So everyone went out there and you go up to it, and it's not something people do particularly often. And it was so nice to see such a large amount of the community go out and do it together. And when I got out there, there were 10, 15 kids playing in the water, and there's some dolphins playing with them. It was really, really nice. I ran into the water to try and play with the dolphins.
I know that's on the programme as well.
It spooked them because they left straight away.
They weren't excited by your legs being in the water.
No, I did do my Baywatchy run as well, and
I know. I saw the rushes. Yeah.
Oh dear me.
So we're dashing around rather a lot because that was Christmas Eve.
But it was a busy Christmas period. We can't remember all of it chronologically.
Yeah, and did you just say mustard word then?
You did.
I might have to buzz that out.
You said an A word.
You did the motocross, didn't you, on New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, yeah. That was really good actually because there were two little lovely blondie girls who, the daughters of the chap who's off to the Golden Shears, were whizzing around on, one of them has this big quad. They're all in this lovely pink attire. They've got bleached blonde hair and they're all revving their bikes at the start.
How old are they?
They must be. They're in the Pee-wee class, so they must be.
It can't be about like 7
No
years
older
old
than
or
7 or 8. Yeah. So they were really good. And then we also had there was one little girl who had, for the first time, had traded her quad in for a two-wheeler racing competitively, and she was going around the track very careful. But as soon as people came up behind her, she would, trying to catch up with them and stuff, which I thought fair play to her. But it was good. The weather was really nice. It was very dry.
Goose green, wasn't it?
Yeah, goose green. Very, very dusty. So showers were needed, definitely. But it was really, really, really good. And then you had like the expert class, of course. Sean Moffat came out on top. Shock.
Is Jay in the islands? Is he?
He was there, but he wasn't competing in that one. He's competed in one race so far this season. He's down for a bit, I think, but then I don't know what.
Next one on the 27th, I think, isn't it? 27th?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the next one is.
Chris Hawksworth place.
Yeah, I don't know where that is either.
It was
whatever
good,
that
really
means.
good, worth going to. And then they all did like a little barbecue afterwards, which was quite nice.
There was a family dance, I think, wasn't there? New Year's Eve, there was quite a few things going on.
You're talking about the Golden Shears dance, the shearing competition. They had the little dance, the FIDF.
No. There was. The family dance in town, in the town hall, which I don't think they've done that before.
No, that was organised by Lily and Lisa, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was very nice, and I heard very good things about that.
Oh, that's good.
I'm glad to know it was well attended. They wanted to do something for the families that wanted to go out for a drink, but obviously can't come into a pub with their kids and all that. It was just nice to be able to have everyone together, I think.
So we come out to the wind down on this. So where is Katie?
God knows where Katie is.
Who knows?
Can't keep a track on Braveheart.
Katie's got her mum with her at the moment. Her mum's visiting, so I think they've gone out exploring things that should be back next week. Probably,
nice.
Maybe not in time for the podcast. We'll find out.
No.
Possibly not. But sorry, I'm going to cough again.
Well, her mum seems to be having a really nice time down here as well.
Yeah, she's had some nice weather. Dan's back. Dan, who was with us for years and years and years, who went to college in the UK, to do his computer animation, and has now moved on to a degree level. He seems to
So
be
he's done
doing
his first
alright.
semester, isn't it?
Yeah, so
He
he-
was raving about it when he
Yeah.
came back in, didn't he? We were asking him about his course, and he
I love
sounded-
the whole time I've known him. He's raved about the computer software that he uses when he's down here, and he's done one semester at uni. He's come back and I'm like, so you've been using any new software? And he was like, oh yes. The software that we've been using down here, they laugh at that software. I'm on this really new software now. It was just quite funny how from the
Yeah.
moment I've known him, he was bigging up the software that he uses down here, and now he's on some actually really quite professional level
Yeah.
stuff, like really quite expensive stuff, but the university provide it at a special rate for them. And but he seems to be having a fantastic
Yeah.
time with it.
How long's he back with us for?
Oh, he's back till the 15th, and then he goes
Oh,
back to
that's
uni.
good.
So he's working on some opening titles for us, and whiz bang opening
Exciting.
titles. No, opening titles a lot quicker than he used to be. So that's good
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's nice to see a different style to his animation as well. I feel like the movement in the stuff that he's able to create is different to what he did before. So it's good to see
All
how
from
he's
one
coming along.
semester as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, and which brings us to the hum, which is unfortunately our
exciting,
data drive has absolutely died.
Packed
and
it in.
Packed it in. Not only that, but also the mirrored data drive as well, which was our safety backup, has also gone.
All of the data drives.
All of the data drives.
So we've got an interesting conversation to have with our techie.
Yes. Yeah.
Paula and I will take on the world.
Yeah, so we've
Fixing
got
the
to,
drive.
we've got to sort that out. So unfortunately, our programme, I wouldn't say had its most dynamic library pictures this week, because it'd be whatever we could grab.
Yeah. Which is a shame, but we will be back up and running soon enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Soon
we
enough.
hope. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Emphasis on the soon enough.
Yeah.
So I've got to give them a call in a couple of minutes, so we'll get that done. So what's coming up next week? You're going to have a look at hay fever.
I might interview you as a subject, actually.
You can
Well,
actually
thank
tell
you.
us next week if it's the gorse or the
the-
whitegrass that actually causes our
You know, it'd be
faces
worth
to
talking
explode.
to James Bryan, agronomist, because he knows about plants and bits, doesn't he, as
Go
well?
for it. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
doctor.
We've got some, of course, we're right in the middle of tourist season, so there's quite a few cruise ships in and out all the time. Margaret Thatcher Day next week. We've never done anything on
I
Margaret
didn't
Thatcher
even know
Day.
that was a thing.
Well, it is down here because obviously.
The connotations to 82, yeah?
Yeah. Mark Spruce's birthday on the 9th. I met him at something over Christmas, and he said, "It's my birthday. Do you think you could give me a shout out?" I said, "Yes, I will." I've actually got some footage of him barbecuing with just an apron on.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
So PG.
So, but of course, it's on the data drive, which is dead. So
We've also got a raft race.
that may not happen.
Yeah, the New Year's Day raft
New Year's
race.
Day raft race has been rescheduled
on the
this
5th.
weekend.
Yeah. Oh, look, you've got that little arrow going from the Sunday to the Saturday.
Because it's been moved around so many times already, but really excited to see that. Hannah interviewed the Zimbabwean team from Safe Lane Global for that one, so check out this week's programme to see what raft
Sneak
they've
preview.
got.
Sneak preview of their super duper souped up
Yeah.
raft.
And we'll be out on what is supposed to be a calm, sunny day on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the basketball's starting up on Monday. There's a new club starting, basketball, so that'll be quite fun for you all you people who are into basketball.
I'm
Burns
afraid
night.
it clashes for me with bouldering.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Wednesday is Burns night dance practice. Come on, guys.
Ooh la la.
Dancing.
Yeah, we need to get that sorted.
I'm sure I have something to do on Wednesday night, actually.
No, it'll be jolly good fun.
No, I think I actually do.
So I think that about wraps it up for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget you can watch along with us on week 410. Go to fitv.co.fk. Subscribe, like, engage with us, listener.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And well, Happy New Year. Looking
Yeah,
forward to
Happy New
bringing
Year.
an abundance of podcasts in 2019. And
shall see.
obviously some fantastic footage as soon as
Yes.
our data drive's back up and running.
See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.